So I was not expecting that I was going to have to film a video today, so woo, because I do need to film videos more often, but also, oh my god, no. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sam Harkin and welcome to the Awesomes of February, where I talk about some of the coolest stuff that I've discovered over the month. Let's just get started with music. Yeah, as with the last one, the only thing that I actually have is best song, and I've kind of liked a whole bunch of songs that don't really count for this. It's very hipstery. Not even joking, I actually bought like a $10 album off someone who was busking on the street. And the reason that I've led with that is because I'm doing the incredibly hipster thing of being like, yay, Taylor Swift, and also, yay, Ariana Grande, because... So let us go into the video. And the only thing that I've seen in theaters, even though I found out that Project Almanac is already out, so I'm like, why haven't I seen that yet? I have only one really cool movie, which is The Theory of Everything. I am so glad that Eddie Redmayne won the Oscar because he so deserves it. Like, fantastic acting than it probably is for most people for the actual story. That's not to say it's bad though, it's good. I'm just not predicting that it's going to be best film of the year. Now let's move on to TV, and one thing that I would very much is not from 2015. Twin Peaks. I sadly have not actually had a chance to watch all of it. I am an hour into the first episode of the second season, which is pretty cool, but like even the first season, just 8 episodes, was just like, this is so interesting, and when it actually gets really creepy, which it sort of started doing, it's gonna get even more awesome. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, yep, this is good, this is definitely good. And it's so interesting because it's so intricate and it's all really wrapped up together, like everyone's having an affair with everybody else. I've heard, obviously, like, the reason that I got into it is because Twin Peaks is supposed to be like this cult classic-y, like really creepy story, and I can just imagine how the entire idyllic nature of everything is just gonna disintegrate. It's already also kind of disintegrated just in the first episode of the second season. Either that or the room service guy who is just like, here's your warm milk, as he gives to a person who's like on the floor and like bleeding profusely, is just like an idiot. Or is he like, is that alternative? It's weird. I was just like, you're in the room for 5 minutes and you don't see the fact that he's bleeding. It's... As for my favourite animated one, my favourite animated one is a lot more recent, and I'm a lot more intimate with all of the media that is available, which is to say that it's only been out for a few months, and I've marathoned all the stuff. It's, to be honest, it is kind of a stereotypical idea. It's the whole, the purgatory as a place where we are going to judge if you go to heaven or hell. And I mean, it is kind of stock standard in that way, but at the same time, the individual stories, even though they're just like these tiny little things that you could basically explain in like a few sentences of text, is so interesting and so lovely to see unfurl. It just takes me all the way back to like Phoenix Wright and stuff, where it's just like, how are all these crazy things happening? And they always have kind of different tones. Like the first one is very emotional. The third episode is very kind of nostalgic and kind of bittersweet, kind of melancholy. There's another one that's just straight up like comedic and kind of ecchi, but then ends up still going kind of like, oh my god, the person's gonna die, but like really it's just like, wow, that's just really crazy and very Japan, like, I have the power of this blah 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 blah. It's, that one's crazy. Go on to the last award, which is in the interactive media, because I haven't really read anything, so... And that one goes to Device 6. It is an iOS game, and I love it to pieces. It is so interesting, and it's so worth a check out. Basically, the whole idea is it's kind of set out to be like a book, but instead of like turning pages, you'll like scroll up. but it won't just be kind of like a block of text. It will be like, oh, she's walking down the hallway, so then the text will move this way, and you'll have to turn corners and stuff when you get to corners and stuff. And it's just such an interesting design to see that kind of stuff. Like, it's not like, oh my god, it's so amazing, completely hard to believe. Like, for example, there's like an elevator, and you'll just see a paragraph slowly animate down, like an elevator going down. Like, it's not like groundbreaking, but it's just a cool little design thing that, especially as someone who really likes just downloading a whole bunch of fonts just for the hell of it, it's just like, oh, I love this. On top of that, you've got a really interesting story which plays with the illusion of choice and the illusion of kind of separation of game and player, if that makes any sense. You'll have to probably play the game to understand what the hell I'm talking about. The puzzles are pretty interesting as well. The only thing that really sucks, I guess, is that it's so short, which isn't necessarily like, oh man, it should have been like ages and ages and ages and ages longer, because to be honest, it's like an iOS game. Like, you can't really go like, we're gonna make a 20-hour super quest for iOS. No, you wouldn't really. It's just more kind of a thing of like, man, I wish I could explore more of this. Like, if they'd have kind of like this company would make more of these kinds of things, which would eventually be like, oh no, they ruined it. But it's just so cool. It's just so cool, and I seriously suggest that you play it. I think in part, like, along with like all the gaming YouTube stuff and the fact that I've got a gaming channel which you subscribe to, has gotten me so much more into gaming just in the recent couple of months. So as always, there will be links to everything in one form or another in the description box down below. So please, if you would like to check them out. If you liked anything in this list, please say so in the comments, or if you hated anything in this list, that's also there. I mean, do what you want. And please tell me some of the things that you found that were awesome in the month of February 2015. Tell me that in the comments. I'm totally doing like exercise things with my hands right now. Subscribe and everything, and I'll see you later. Bye. Okay.